guys? This is T.
And this is B. And we're here to start a new series called Chit Chat with T and B. This is something that we've been wanting to start for a long time, and we're finally doing it. So today's episode is going to be about our story. A lot of you guys have been asking about our story and how we met. So we're going to do that today. But we want you to put in the comments below any questions, any topics that you guys have that you want us to discuss, and we'll get to it. So let's jump right in on how we got to meet, pretty much, right? This was probably back in like 02, 03. I was doing an internship program. I was originally from the East Coast, and I did an internship program in Oregon and stumbled across this man at the gym.
Yeah, that's right. Had a gym membership that summer, so I was playing a lot of basketball and working out with friends, and checking out the nice girls was just a byproduct of the gym membership.
Is that what it was?
And in-strutted, very special one, one fateful day, and so that's kind of where it all began.
I ended up moving out to Portland, and then he moved to Washington, and so our long distance just kind of kept on going. How was it for you though, dear, in terms of our courtship when we actually officially... How did you even officially ask me? Do you remember?
Nope. No.
This is horrible.
But yeah. Well, how it was for me is we were doing long distance. I was in Portland and she was back in DC, and then when she told me she was making the move out to Oregon, that was really exciting. But at the same time, stuff was going on in my life, and so I felt very strongly to go to school to get my degree to become a pastor. And so I stopped studying business back home and left for Washington. So we had to do like the long distance part 2 kind of thing, and continue the journey in different places again. Yeah.
So while I was going to school out in Oregon, anytime we pretty much had breaks, we were just going back and forth seeing each other. So I was always at his school visiting him for the weekends, or if he had a break, he'd come and see me for the weekends. And that's kind of how everything just kind of worked for us. And it was hard. It was hard, we had to schedule in times to talk to each other. We're both students, so of course both of us are really, really busy, but we made it work. So pretty much for about 2.5 years we dated, and then the proposal came. You want to tell them how you proposed?
I remember talking to your dad in my kitchen over the phone.
Yeah.
To be able to ask him, kind of be traditional and ask him for his daughter's hand, and I'm sure he probably grilled me pretty good there for a little while, but
sure.
I know it went well.
Obviously.
So he must have said yes at some point.
Right.
And so we started brewing up a plan, and I bought a ticket to fly out to Maryland around Christmas time of 2005, which was the year that the Seahawks got robbed in the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Somehow my husband had to make it about this year.
But I digress.
Somehow.
So that was 2005 though. So that was right before, a few months before the Super Bowl.
Right.
Anyways, so I made plans, flew out to Maryland, totally had you fooled thinking that I was somewhere else, and I had her parents on the plan.
Yeah, it was so crazy because every time I tried to call him, I got him. So I had no clue when he was on the plane, when he landed, when he had to get on another plane to get to Maryland. It just worked out so perfectly that whenever we were talking or whenever I decided to call him, he could actually answer the phone. So I was totally blindsided completely.
Yeah, so had a pretty flawless plan, and everybody was in on it. My brother and mom, and everybody knew about it. So her dad picked me up from the airport, drove me back, what happened. I think that your dad went back in the house. I stayed out in the truck, out in the cold, waiting for the most opportune time, which was at midnight, because their family tradition was to open gifts at midnight. And so I feel like, a few minutes before midnight, I probably
knocked on the door, and then my mom was like, oh, go answer the door. I don't know who that could be at whatever time it was, right? I opened the door, and I see Tyler's face, and I instantly, like, shut the door right in his face. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? I was, like, in shock. And then finally, of course, I opened back up the door, and I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
Why did you say, oh my goodness? Did you have an idea?
Of course. I'm like, who would fly all the way from Seattle to Maryland, you know? So I'm like, is this really about to happen? But you came in, you know, there was food and everything, so you're chit-chatting with everybody, and I'm sitting here like, okay, what's going on? We opened up presents, I think. No, actually, yeah, we got to the presents thing, and started opening up presents, and for some reason I felt like, is this it? Is this not it? Is he just coming to like see my family and spend Christmas with us? Because time was just kind of going, you know, and nothing was really happening. So
when Bonnet was in Portland, I think we were walking through the mall one time, and you had pointed out a pair of shoes that you liked, and so I kept that in mind. And so I had bought those shoes after you had left, and when I came to Maryland for Christmas, I actually had the ring that I had purchased as well, and so I put the ring onto the pair of shoes, one of the shoes that I was going to give you as a gift. And so when it came time to hand out gifts, I gave Bonnet that gift. So when she opened the gift, she didn't see it straight away, and so I told her to, you know, let me put the shoes on her. And so I actually kneeled down. Were you standing? I probably told you to stand up,
yeah.
So you probably thought something was fishy, but I told her to stand up, and I took the shoe out of the box. I put on a shoe, I think.
Yeah.
And then went to the other one, or I can't remember. But while I was down on one knee putting the shoe on, then I had the ring right there, and I think you probably noticed I slipped it right off. And
I didn't even notice that you took the ring off. I'm like, it was like seamless, and it was totally like the Cinderella moment, you know? Yeah, you just put the shoe on, and then he was on for what he said, but all I know was that there was tears just trickling all over my face, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like in shock. And my mom's over there crying, my brother is over there like smiling, my dad's just kind of, you know, you could tell he was happy, but then it's like, oh my gosh, my baby girl's getting married kind of thing going on in his head. It was perfect, and there was no other way that I would have wanted that. I wanted to have my proposal be in front of my family. They're the most important people in my life, so it was just awesome how he went about doing it. And pretty much after we got engaged, 6 months later was the wedding, and I pretty much planned it all on my own. It turned out great. I'll put some pictures all through here so that you guys can see. Best wedding ever. It was just perfect. There was not a dry eye in the room, I don't think, on our wedding day. Everyone was just so emotional and so happy for us. And yeah, so that's kind of our story and how everything started and where we are now. We're going into 8 years of marriage. Can you believe it? It's crazy. It's so crazy. 8 going on 80. So it's just been amazing, and to have this beautiful little lad here with us. Say hi. Look. To have him here is truly just God and a blessing that we've wanted for so long. And you know, if you guys know our history and our past, you know about our first son, Caden. So to have Judah here is just very special for us. It doesn't take the place of Caden whatsoever. Caden will always be our firstborn and be dear to our hearts, always. So yeah, that is it. So again, this is our chit chat with TMB. Again, if you have any questions, any topics that you want us to discuss, put it down in the description bar, please, and we will more than be happy to talk about it. So hope you guys enjoyed this first episode, and there will be more to come.